Hi guys, it's Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and today is a very special day for me because finally, after all of this counting down and all of these days of hard work, the release of my Chessable course 1c3 Venom is finally out. And yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you more about this course because probably for the last year, this has taken up like the biggest chunk of my headspace. Um, so yeah, let me just explain what it's all about. I mean, probably for those of you who have, watched a lot of my content over these past few months, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and you probably don't even need this introduction. But basically, me, an untitled player who has a pretty small online chess platform, somehow managed to join the ranks of very strong titled players and very, you know, reputable authors and join them on this website called Chessable. And for anyone who doesn't know, basically Chessable is this website that these kind of prolific authors have been able to showcase their books and their content online, and people can access their courses and learn from them, right? And I got a very lucky opportunity to basically kind of give it a go myself. And because I had this YouTube channel, Chess Lifestyle, they even allowed me to take a chance and make some videos with the course. Because normally, you know, people who are new to Chessable, like they just have to make like a course without video and slowly build up their portfolio, and then if they're lucky, they'll get this break. But yeah, just it all kind of worked out, and here I was writing a course for 1c3 Venom, and today is the day that it's finally published, right? So, um, yeah, I basically made a course on an opening called well, the opening, I mean, it's called the Sargosa opening, but it really isn't played. It's really not a thing. And yeah, it's played 0% of online games and 0% of master database games. And I just wanted to basically bring something to the chess world that is kind of novel, right? Like something that hasn't been done many times before. Like the number of like chessable courses on, say, the King's Indian is like countless, right? Because all of these kind of very mainstream openings, they've been analyzed to death. And I mean, for good reason, right? These are probably the most ambitious ways to play in chess. But there are actually lots of ways that you can actually play that haven't been explored as much and are perfectly fine. I mean, this 1c3 opening, um, like, when you turn on the engine, it might suggest that the opening is zeros. But, okay, I mean, like, with one e4 and one d4, we're not talking about huge advantages here. We're talking about, like, maybe plus zero point 0.3, plus zero point 0.4 at the most, right? So, the thing is, in an actual chess game, as you probably know if you've ever played chess, like a game of chess can swing way larger than like these small increments, and therefore it's much more important that you're basically playing an opening that is suited to your style, and also you understand the plans and ideas very well. And it's even better if the opponent can catch out your opponent, and sorry, if the opening can catch out your opponent. And here, I'm recommending this 1c3 move that's hardly ever been played. So basically, any opponent with the black pieces is probably going to be a bit stumped and will need to start thinking from move one, which is always a nice thing to do, especially since chess has a clock, and time control and time advantages is a very big part of the game as well. So I think the opening, yeah, just from the very start, it always had like a lot of promise to be something bigger. And yeah, I mean the course itself, like basically, I'm showing you just like an example of Sam Shanklin's course, because actually my course is looking very bad right now. I'm actually filming this like 10 days before its release. But soon, it's gonna look really fancy with like a whole introduction and a nice profile. But yeah, basically, the course, I've tried to like break it down into the most logical kind of chapters that I could. And after the introduction, I basically cover. I break the course down into two different sections. One is the Caro-Kann reversed, and one is the London system. Because with the starting move 1c3, black can basically play e5, which I'm recommending d4. And this is like half of the idea that we are basically playing a Caro-Kann but one tempo up. Um, because yeah, the Caro-Kann, for anyone who doesn't know, is a very popular opening with the black pieces, which starts with 1c6 against e4 and meets this big center with this pawn push d5. So we're basically getting this opening, but with a tempo up. And yeah, in chess, like, it's actually not an uncommon thing for players to basically play their black repertoire but a tempo up with the white pieces if they can get away with it. And for some reason, this c3 move has just been completely overlooked, and actually has a lot of promise, right? To play this Caro-Kann tempo up. So this is half of the course, right? This is the first half of the course, and what I really wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that the course was like as accessible to as many people as possible. And the thing is, with a lot of these Chessable opening courses, I feel like a lot of them basically go way too into depth. And for the level of player that is trying to understand and learn from it, it's just basically too difficult. Like, you've got this whole category of Chessable courses called lifetime repertoires. I can just look this up. And basically, these lifetime repertoires, they're extremely in depth and they cover everything. But you know, for the average club player or even you know, online online new to chess, like, barely knows like the basic principles. You know, some of them are already trying to buy these lifetime repertoires and trying to study these, and this is just way too difficult for them. And Chessable have tried to like make a push in the direction to make content that's for beginners as well. But yeah, I've tried to make a course that is accessible for both. So what I've tried to do is I've basically got my theory sections on each of the different lines in this Caro-Kann reversed. And then I have an advanced material section. So the point of this is that I want like kind of short and sweet lines that is very like easy to remember and easy to understand. And that will help you in the majority of your games. But for players who are like, I don't know, pushing for like 2000 level online and above, then you can even check out this advanced material section, which just delves deeper into the theory. And yeah, like maybe like some of the lines that I recommend in the main course, maybe they're like objectively only equal as opposed to pushing for an advantage, and then maybe I'll show you like the way you can actually push for an advantage in the more advanced lines. But of course, this comes with a risk that, you know, maybe there are more counter chances for the opponent, and maybe there's just more to remember, like the lines are just deeper. So yeah, it comes with that element of risk, and for a beginner, you don't really need to be playing that objectively strong chess. It's better to just basically play the basics and understand it well, and that is why I've split these sections up. So for every for the Caro-Kann reversed and also for the London system lines. So for the record, these London system lines are basically everything else against c3. So against d5, we're playing for a London with bishop f4. Against knight f6, we are playing for a London with bishop f4. And you'll be surprised to hear that like this 1c3 move, it basically kind of comes up with its own theory. It's not like a direct transposition to your typical London lines. Like for instance here, queen b6 is a move. And this is actually very subtly different to, let's say, a box standard London, where you get this setup and white is playing e3 here, and black can play this queen b6, and this has been analyzed to death. Like, this is a very trendy line with black, and, you know, there are all these lines of knight c3, and it gets very sharp. But actually, c3 is getting these related positions, but they're different enough where if the opponent isn't clued up on what they're doing, and they won't be, right? Because who's going to prepare against this c3 move? We've actually got theory here, and like for instance, this knight d2 move is the best move in the position, and it can go really wrong for white already. Sorry, for black. Like black can take on b2, and this can quickly go wrong. Like white can take a huge center and begin to take over, and you know the opponent might get greedy and grab all these pawns, but actually already this position is completely better for white. Like actually the queen doesn't have a single square because of our active development. We've just got immediate counterplay. Like for instance, this queen d6 is the best move, and after e5, this position is already very problematic for black, and white is just simply winning. So you've got like this idea. The other thing I should mention as well is, you know, we're not just losing a pawn instantly because we've got this knight jump. right? And this is really surprising because when black looks like they're going to gain a tempo and then win a pawn, no, we can actually just take the pawn. And they can't take our knight because we've got the move rook c1 and we're picking up the bishop on c8. So my point being is that this 1c3 move has basically led to a lot of interesting theory. This reverse Caro-Kann has just simply not been explored at all. And yeah, but the lines are very interesting. Like, no longer is this advanced variation as critical as it is in a normal Caro-Kann, and there's no two knights variation. You've got like a measly one knight variation, which we can tackle, and these sidelines like the fantasy are just horrendous because if they try to play f6 here, we can just take the center with e4, and like you ask like the opponent, what on earth are you doing, right? So basically, this reverse Caro-Kann, to put it in Gen Z terms, is just cracked. Like this reverse Caro-Kann is just like really really nice because you basically get the same strategic benefits of a Caro-Kann, and you don't have this very very critical theory that in a normal Caro-Kann with the black pieces you're often having to deal with, like especially at higher levels. So I'm a huge fan of this opening, and yeah, basically I've split the course into these two segments, like basically c3 e5 in the first half, and then c3 d5 or c3 knight f6 or c3 c5, and basically playing more in the style of a London. And yeah, to finish the course, what I wanted to do was basically have a couple bonus sections, bonus chapters, and I had to include in the repertoire this opening the slug, because actually almost 10 years ago now, like I had an old YouTube channel called Chess Scrubs, and you can see here King's Gambit, King D2 novelty. Like I've been like inventing opening lines like for so long, right? So it's really an honor for me to even be able to have this opportunity to showcase some of my opening ideas on a website like Chessable. But yeah, basically 10 years ago I was looking into this opening called the Slug, which I called it the Slug, and actually with the black pieces I would call it the Snail. Because it's a tempo slower and snails are a bit slower than slugs. But anyway, the point being is that it actually starts with the move on c3. So it's a very, very quirky setup. And yeah, basically the opening, I don't know, just to give some kind of example of what could happen. Basically, the opening starts off like this. And you basically, develop these knights controlling the center, but they're on very peculiar squares. And we basically just fight back with d3, e4. And yeah, I've played this a lot in even classical games with great success. So it's a very, very funky opening. Of course, objectively speaking, it's a bit dubious, but I think it's really creative, and definitely for blitz or even bullets, like it's definitely a practical option to play for. So yeah, but this was the bonus section on the slug, and then my final section on revolutionary thinking. I basically just wanted to cover more ideas you can make use of with 1c3, and also I just basically shared this kind of journey of how I developed my theory against a particular setup for black, because rather than just give you the lines, I wanted to show you like where I started, and then building on it and building on it and building on it, and where I came to a point where I'm satisfied with how to meet this opening response. So basically just kind of discussing like opening and developing an opening, so that maybe you have the skills to also like try and like build on your own opening knowledge and kind of like venture into these unknown territories yourself. So the course total, it's just over 100 variations, trainable variations. There's over, I think, 60 informational variations, so like model games and kind of like instructions. And yeah, like one big thing about this is that like for all of the Caro-Kann reversed topics, I start with the standard Caro-Kann and explain that. And after explaining the standard Caro-Kann, we then have a look at how does the extra tempo play a part in giving you more of an advantage, and how can you make this extra tempo in your favor. So yeah, this is my course, and I'm very proud that it is published today on July the 11th. And yeah, like one thing I just wanted to shout out, I mean, because this Chessable user won't be allowed to write me a review, because yeah, beta testers are not allowed to write reviews. I just wanted to read this out because I think this was my favorite one. I had 5 beta testers and they all gave very positive reviews. But yeah, Kira's an Angel said, "Hello Michael, it's been lovely beta testing this course. My favorite was the revolutionary thinking chapter at the end with creative ideas, and you also discovered solutions to the same issues I've faced as a Knight of 3 Reti and Benoni player." So yeah, in my introduction, I basically explained like my background as a player, my openings, and where I've come from. So yeah, she says, "I was able to complete all chapters allocated to me. Not only were they a joy to go through, but also instructive. I believe many others will come to this conclusion as well. I truly think that this course could set an example for other courses in the future. Less move by move emphasis and more plan-based overall understanding. Thank you for this opportunity." So yeah, really appreciate this review from Kira's an Angel. And yeah, like honestly, I've been playing this C3 Venom since November of last year, and like my earlier games were probably a bit dodgy, and actually I've included all of them in the course, right? Because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes as well. Like, why make the mistakes when you can learn from my own mistakes and see how I grew from this opening? And aside from just basically being quite successful playing this in online chess, like I basically hit 2500 on Lee Chess in Bullet, Blitz, and Rapid. And for Blitz and Rapid, I basically only hit 2500 after switching to 1c3. Like, I wasn't able to get. I was probably struggling even with 2400 like back then. So really, the switch to repertoire really made a big difference for my online ratings, like 100 points or so. And actually, in my recent English championships, so I'm playing some tournament chess as well. I entered the English championship this year, like a week ago. And out of a starting rank of 80 players, I had a starting rank of number 73. So really, really low down on the list. And I ended up surprising myself, and I ended up scoring 50%, which for this tournament is a really good result for me. And as you can see with the white pieces, I scored 2.5 out of 3. And of course, I was playing C3 Venom. So basically, this course has, I don't know, it's been a real journey. I mean, I'm a huge fan of this opening. I think the lines are really, really quirky. Don't worry, they're not all about the slug. I have legit, objectively good opening lines. And I think you'll enjoy the explanations, and hopefully they'll stick really well. I've tried to be as thorough and also as concise and also as clear with my lines as possible. And yeah, that's it. I am now a Chessable author. I mean, it was so much work. My God, I mean, from having the idea in November, like I had to like create all the PGN files. I had to learn how to import it into Chessable format. It's borderline coding. It felt like probably like real people who code like don't think so. But I don't know. Like I suck at coding, and this felt like such a difficulty, like importing it into Chessable, and then also like the beta testing, like having to review everyone's comments. Like it took me a week of basically grinding 4 hours of reviews. And I mean, I'll speak to Dylan, who's actually a content manager at Chessable, and he said, yeah, like the number of reviews, a number of edits I had to make was definitely more than average, right? But this isn't because the course had lots of problems. It was just like a lot of the beta testers on my team were just so passionate about the course. They really wanted to make it as best as they could. So they were correcting every grammatical mistake, really trying to like make it as clean and as perfect as possible. And I really appreciate them all for that. I gave them a shout out at the end of the course as well. So yeah, basically this Chessable course is my first. I hope it's not my last as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So this is 1c3 Venom. I'm hoping it's gonna look a lot more touched up than than this right now. But yeah, probably the course is open to the browse, and there's a nice peek inside video you can watch if you want to get a taster. And yeah, definitely the link is going to be in the description below. And yeah, honestly, I've been waiting so long for this day. I mean, okay, I'm filming this 10 days ago, so on July the 1st, so it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I can't wait for people to be trying this 1c3 move out. And yeah, I'm gonna really try my best to engage in the C3 Venom forums. Like right now, there's some discussion here, but this is just between me and the beta testers. But yeah, hopefully, we're gonna have some nice chats there. And yeah, that is my course. So honestly, thank you so much for watching till the end, and just supporting chess lifestyle in general. And holy crap, we actually have a course on Chessable now. So yeah, definitely let me know what you think, and if you have any questions about 1c3 Venom as well, please just feel free to ask in the YouTube comments below. I will try and answer everything, and hopefully, yeah, any concerns or queries you have about the course, your questions will be answered. And also with Chessable, the very nice thing is that you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So yeah, you can even try out the course, and if it's not for you, you can always return it, and no questions asked. So yeah, I mean, this course has been a real passion project for me. I honestly think, like, of all the things I've done, like, you can see 72,000 words. Like, that's like 10 times the length of like my final year dissertation at university. And compared to the amount of effort that I've put into anything in the past, like any kind of like physical, tangible piece of work, this tops it. This tops it, right? Like this course, I put everything into this course. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the almost 20 hours of video content that I have dedicated. Many are like explaining model games in as high depth as possible. And yeah, it's only just over 100 trainable variations. So I think it's very manageable. I'm going to be on the Chessable community starting today, answering your questions and going through this with you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And sorry, I know I've been rambling, but the last thing I will mention is that I should be having a 24-hour stream tomorrow, and that is tomorrow, like 12th of July. So basically, tune in for that. I'm basically going to be playing 1c3 Venom like all the way through the stream and just discussing it. So I think that will be really fun. So I hope you guys can tune in for that. Thank you for all the YouTube members and Patreon subscribers for supporting this journey. And yeah, go take a look at my course. I appreciate all the support, and until next time, adios.